Start the episode,
How is that
bro.
connected to anything?
Start the episode, bro.
All right, let me know when you are ready.
Just start the episode, bro.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Good evening and welcome to Tripping on Legends. I am Christopher Balzano.
And I'm Ella Bolzano.
And we are on episode 139, Riders on the Storm. I'm not sure. That was my beginning title. I might change the title. So I totally reserve the right to save, to do a completely different title, same content. That was just kind of the first thing I came up with. And to be honest with you, it was, like many of the episodes, serendipitous. We had just published an episode, and things are going crazy here. There's a ton of things happening here in Fort Myers and in North Fort Myers and Cape Coral, where we are. If you want to follow the craziness and the things that are going on, please follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Tripping on Legends. Instagram, we're at Spooky Tripping. TikTok, we are at Tripping on Legends. And of course, the episodes can be listened to anywhere you get your podcasts. You can watch the episodes on Facebook Live and then posted YouTube at Tripping on Legends, as well as Spotify, things like that. Do you listen to us on Spotify?
I do.
Do you ever go back and listen to the episodes that you're on?
Sometimes I've watched them on YouTube.
Do you really?
Yeah, I've shown them to people and been like, "Look at little Ella."
So it's it's funny because in doing this research, I realized oh crap, there's a theme that I've been going on that every time it comes up, I'm like, oh my word, the headless ghost. Which is kind of the focus of what we're doing tonight, or at least part of the topic, part of the ghost that we're going to be looking at, the legend trip. And I realized, we've done a lot of not with head episodes before. So if you are interested in no head, which seems to be a theme here in the there are episodes. We did an episode about the headless man of Old Oak. I basically have put this all in the show notes, but we did also one that you and I are hopefully going to Legend Trip as we're checking out colleges, because Ella's going to be checking out FSU. And there's a headless ghost right in Tallahassee we're going to be checking out, and then of course we did another one as well. So you could just go to trippingonlegends.com and type in headless, and you're going to see 4 other episodes that we did. But tonight's episode started with a damn head.
No.
I kid you not. So
what are we gonna do? I'm scared.
Well, it's a really so
you will lose your head at how good this episode is.
And you'll see, for those of you guys who are watching live, I'm wearing my Headless Horseman shirt, my Sleepy Hollow football shirt. What's going to be an episode hits me like this, right? I've got some episodes that are just rolling around in my head, and then every once in a while I read something, and I automatically save it. Boom. I save the article. And I say, this is going to be an episode I know because thematically it's something that's interesting, or it hits something with me, or the title hit me, and I'm like, okay, I got to read this article because I get releases and things like that. And I got this article about a motorcycle legend, urban legend, digital legend that's been going around. And so I put it off to the side, and then all of a sudden everything seemed to click into place. But we have these kind of polar opposite stories. And that kind of polar oppositeness is what I want to get into later on in the episode. But I want to start out with the digital legend. And I figured, who better to do an episode about a digital legend than the queen of analog horror and digital legends, at least in training, with this interesting article titled "The Deep Web Biker Man, A Haunting Tale of the Unknown." That literally just draws me right in, right? Deep Biker Man, Deep Wave Web Biker Man, haunting, ghost biker. I was enthralled with what this might be. I would love for you to, you could avoid my comments that are on the paper.
It's getting me so bad.
What?
This writing's getting me this right here.
What? This is not a real thing. So on it, I have in big letters, this is not a real thing.
Well, we're gonna find out.
But we're going to find out. And so I figured we'd have Ella read it because she's such a dramatic reading. Don't just read the parts that I highlighted, but like read the whole thing. It's not nearly as long as it looks. And what I'd like, so I guess we've kind of already spoiled it, that my perspective on it is I'm like, what the hell is this? That I want my urban legend experts and my people who really pride themselves on being able to see the evolution of a friend of a friend tale to a web-based friend of a friend tale to see if they can hit the red flags that are in this article right here. And whether you think it is a real or not, I guess, at the end. Okay. So continue. Or start, I should say.
Well, don't go crazy and start throwing stones at me if I stutter at all, okay?
We won't, definitely.
That's what they always say. All right.
It's not like 1685.
The deep web biker man.
Wait, by the way, I'm going to encourage her to read in that voice.
It's like the lottery.
And what I want you to do is I want you, if you're at home or listening to this, if you're in a car, please don't do it. I want you to take notes of the facts that are given about this. So if you had to, for example, rate notes on this for an episode, what are the notes you would make? Continue.
Right, okay. The deep web biker man, a haunting tale of the unknown, a masked rider, a mysterious presence in the dark web. In the darkest corners of the internet, there are whispers of a chilling figure known as the deep web biker man. With a face perpetually hidden behind a mask, this figure has sparked curiosity and fear across the web. Known for his unsettling presence in cryptic videos, the biker man has become a focal point for creepy internet folklore, leaving many to wonder whether he is simply an urban legend, or a terrifying real-life character who preys on the innocent. The story. The deep web biker man first became infamous through a series of low-quality, cryptic videos that began circulating on underground platforms, particularly YouTube's creepy channels and notably the dark web.
I thought, I could literally see you being, watching endless videos of this biker, when I read that.
Yes.
Not in a judgmental, more in a that's cool kind of thing.
Yes. Way. I would totally watch those. Well, I wouldn't go on the dark web, but
But it says YouTube, too.
I know, I'd watch it on YouTube, but not the dark web, because I'm a good person. Just kidding, guys. The videos... The videos, which appear to have been shot using a cheap camera, depict a man riding through dense forests on a motorcycle. The chilling aspect of the footage is not just the eerie setting, but the actions of the man itself. The biker man, whose face is always covered, rides through desolate and foggy landscapes, his motorcycle's engine echoing through the night. His demeanor is cold and distant, and the silence around him adds to the creepy atmosphere. Occasionally, the footage reveals glimpses of him interacting with people he encounters, usually when they are alone and in isolated areas. These interactions often involve cryptic conversations, strange gestures, and a feeling of being watched. But the most disturbing part? After these eerie encounters, the biker man vanishes. His victims are left in a state of confusion, unable to recall exactly what happened during their brief meeting with the masked rider. Some claim that after seeing him, they felt an overwhelming sense of dread, as if they were marked in some way. There are also reports from many viewers who claim that they found themselves inexplicably drawn to locations where these videos are filmed, only to find creepy symbols and strange markings in the area. The videos and the mystery. Subheadings. As the videos continued to surface, rumors about the biker man began to grow. Viewers began to speculate that these clips weren't just some low-budget horror story, but something much darker. Some believe that the biker man was a part of a larger organization involved in sinister activities. Others theorize that he might be involved in a twisted game of survival, where he stalks his victims before making them disappear. One particular video shows a chilling moment, where a witness is seen looking into the camera with wide eyes, only for the biker man to vanish into the shadows, leaving the viewer with an unsettling sense of emptiness. Despite the theories, no one has been able to track down the true identity of the biker man. These videos are as cryptic as ever, with no clear answers about who he is or what he wants. Those who have tried to investigate the origins of this video, or the locations shown in them, have found themselves in dead ends, further fueling the mystery.
Okay, so you can read the next parts, which are the theories.
Are you going to ask me what I think is wrong?
Well, do you want to go into the theories that are on this sheet of paper and the way that they're written?
Well, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, continue.
Well, I also was noticing that it said, they were drawn to the locations where it was filmed, but then here it says that the locations can't be found.
Also, all of the footage is shot by the guy flying through the thing, and yet but
they can see him.
How are people forgetting what they were talking about with him?
And also...
And who's posting them? And what are the cryptic messages?
And also, how is he vanishing if he's holding the camera? Wouldn't the camera fall to the ground?
So wouldn't the people vanish as opposed to him?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. So
you're kind of saying some not real stuff right now.
So there's... Right,
What's your name? Amanula.
And wrote what I wrote next to Amanula.
Seemed to just write every BuzzFeed story.
Literally, it seems like she went to BuzzFeed Unsolved and writes an article about every episode. Yeah, like no, I mean, she's writing this stuff originally. We're not gonna criticize. Yeah, okay, well we are, but
we are criticizing.
But in terms of like, she's not copying and pasting. She's not even AIing.
She's writing itself.
Like the BuzzFeed Unsolved like posts about it. But this is I found probably, so now I'm researching. I'm in researcher mode. I'm like, where is this? Where does it take place? Where has this been cited? None of that information is given.
Right.
Literally the only 5 mentions of anything like this whatsoever are all repostings of the article. But not only is it just repostings of the article, it's repostings by subsidiaries of one of the websites. Does that make sense? Like the website is, I can't even remember the name of it. It was like Video Juice or something like that.
Right.
And all of the other ones are people that are owned by Video Juice. So in other words, the only traction this story has gotten
is within its
this story's so compelling that it's making the waves of the internet is itself. Right? Like, it's the only reference. Now, when I start doing this, now 2026, I hit Reddit. I hit all of those I hit, what do you call it? 4chan. Like, I go into these places to see if these discussions are happening. And there's no reference to this story whatsoever. There's not even references to... the story that it's fake, right? It's like they're not even referencing the actual story, never mind the thing itself. What are other things that you noticed were
like, what do you mean?
Like, when you that you notice were off, like you're starting to read it going like, this is totally just an urban legend.
Well, I mean, like, I kind of already said.
And it's not even an urban legend, it's a self-feeding legend. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not
about people going and finding the symbols and stuff like that?
Symbols. It's got
eerie symbols, very Blair Witch Project.
Right? And as a matter of fact, I think in one of the original posts, there was a picture from the Blair Witch Project.
Of the thing?
Yeah.
That's
like,
so funny.
It doesn't reference any specific location. It doesn't give any details. It doesn't give names. It doesn't give quotes. And it just, if you notice the writing, and I guess I'll put a link to one of the articles, it's just constantly referencing itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like it, and then of course it has the great modern self legend. Can you even call it an urban legend? We have to come up with another name of people who just like say shit and say it's like a thing going around. It's kind of like a Wrinkles the Clown syndrome, but he was doing it with intent, right? It's like I freaked her out just by saying Wrinkles the Clown.
I'm scared of him.
This idea of like creating buzz for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, just by
hyping yourself
doing
up.
something. Just by saying something. Dark web. We're all scared of the dark web. Right? Like, ooh, the deep web, the dark web that's going out there. Why do they call it the deep web now, not the dark web?
Because it's like... I think there's a lot of stigma around calling it like the dark web.
But it's like this nefarious, like...
Same thing.
I know.
It's like the dark web.
That's like saying,
I also think it's funny that this like first thing is like, it's found on notably the dark web and also some YouTube channels.
Because those things are so...
easily accessible YouTube channels.
I am loving the idea, unlike a lot of people my age, and people who do what I do. I think that the internet has been an amazing invention for the spreading and the uncovering of urban legends, right? And getting them out there. And this other one that we're going to eventually get to that's local is going to be a good example of that. But this has no meat to it whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Read the possibilities, right? Because all of a sudden...
This is very BuzzFeed.
All of a sudden, right, with the thing, I feel like I should have to take my folder out and be like this.
One. Let's dive into the plausible theories.
Okay, read
We love
the
you,
theories.
BuzzFeed. Well, they're not BuzzFeed anymore. They're Watcher now.
Go ahead.
We love you, Watcher. All right. Theories and speculations. 1. Creepypasta or real-life event. The most popular theory is that the deep web biker man is simply an elaborate creepypasta created to spread fear and intrigue among horror fans on the internet. With his masked appearance, eerie settings, and cryptic behaviors, the figure certainly fits the mold of an internet urban legend.
Can I stop you for 1 sec?
Yeah.
Because I'm responding to some chatter that's going on in the room, which is there is no rabbit hole. That's the crazy part about this. Like, I can understand. I mean, I went down a ton of rabbit holes doing the research on this one from Venice, and even the other one from Ohio, and there was no actual rabbit hole. Like, it literally, the trail ends. I don't even know the motivation behind starting it. Do you know who that person is, by the way?
It's Destiny.
Oh, okay, is it okay? Continue on with your theories.
All right. 2. A real figure in the dark web. Another theory is that the biker man is, in fact, a real individual involved in the dark web's criminal underworld. This theory suggests that the videos are part of an initiation ritual or a disturbing form of entertainment for those involved in illicit activities online. 3. A performance art or ARG. Darkwood 2023 is what Dad has written here.
Oh, I looked up a game that references the biker.
I think I've heard of this.
Have you?
I think so. Some believe the videos are part of an alternate reality game, ARG. I love ARGs. Or a performance art piece that blends fiction with reality. The use of ambiguous symbols and interaction with the victims suggests this could be an interactive mystery designed to provoke fear and curiosity in the viewer. 4. A thriller gone wrong. Another theory is that the biker man could be a part of a twisted survival game, similar to real-life horror shows like The Most Dangerous Game. In this scenario, he stalks victims as part of some sick contest, though there is no concrete evidence to support this theory.
There's no concrete evidence
Well, thank
to
you
support
for
any of these
saying
theories. I like how it's like there's a guy, there's grainy footage of him, there's cryptic things. It's obviously a serial killer who's part of the Illuminati.
And he's in a dangerous game as well, and he's going to hurt people.
Right, you play the game. I mean, it's literally just feeding of itself. And I like the fact that it was the spark for tonight's show, but I also like the fact that it is typical. Do we think it's typical of some of the stuff that's out there? Like these ideas that just kind of feed themselves and don't really... I mean, I know I deal with this all day long with teenagers just being like these self-perpetuating myths that really just are like self-contained, right? To see that play itself out, and I checked like no comments on any of these things. It really was like this. I think she's a woman. Was just like farting into the wind with like some, you know what I'm like, with nothing concrete to talk about, and it almost like, which I guess is in a positive thing, it failed. It didn't pick up any traction. But it's really hard to do what we do and know that this stuff is out there, and maybe catching some flies every once in a while. You know, and then in maybe 10 years when no one remembers where the origin of this was, all of a sudden it becomes a thing. And I think we're going to see a little bit of that with the other stories tonight. So, if you had to, would you go to the location where the biker is seen?
Yes.
No, because there's no location given.
If there was.
It's literally, these are the notes I have on this. Look, these are the notes. That's it. Those are the only notes.
Right.
BuzzFeed horror. That's literally like the only notes I have, because there's no information
her mean names.
Given. Whatever, who cares?
I'm not done. I still have a whole page.
No, we don't need to do that page. I think we've moved on. Unless you can find something on that page that you think is interesting.
Human trafficking.
I think it's literally like, if we write enough of these algorithm words, then like maybe it'll get picked up.
I'm agree with that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Human trafficking, snuff, underground horror, Reddit,
4chan,
hidden meetings. It's 4chan.
Yeah, did I say chain?
Yeah.
I'm old.
I know.
Whatever.
Dark web, a lot of it.
Dark web. And I think that's... You can say anything if you just say, I found it on the dark web. You know? So, all right, I'm going to get into the next story because this has got a little bit more juice to it. And I know one of the, once again, unsubstantiated urban legends that a lot of the kids these days say is that Ohio does not exist. I have no idea where that came from.
I made a Google Slides presentation in 6th grade about all the states that don't exist, and Ohio was on it. And that was before the...
And now, is there any reason why people say that Ohio doesn't exist? Like, over anything else? Is it just one of those things where you can just say, like, Bethesda, Maryland vanished off the face of the planet, and...
Well, no, it's like Ohio not being real is like a meme. It's not like an actual, like, we actually think Ohio's not real.
Okay.
But there is a theory that strange things happen in Ohio.
Just keep in mind that I have students that are more believable than maybe you.
What does that mean?
That means that some of them actually do believe that Ohio isn't real.
Wow. That's yikes.
We're going to an actual place. This is in northwest Ohio. About 30 miles from Toledo, Ohio. So a real place.
Toledo surprise.
It is Elmore, Ohio. And it is the perfect transition between this completely fake one and a local one. And that is a ghost known as the Elmore Rider.
Right.
If you were going to design a legend trip, a story to legend trip, what do you think the characteristics of that are? Like, what makes a really good ghostly legend?
History.
What is one of the most famous, somewhat recent events in history, or at least something that happened long enough ago that you can't follow up any information, but everyone knows that it happened, and like it's legitimate, like people could have been alive back then? World War I.
Right.
Our story involves a soldier coming back after having fought in World War I.
Okay.
What else does a good ghostly legend need? A specific location. How about if we say that? In this case, it is known as Spook Light Road.
Oh.
Or Fought Road. It is sometimes known as Slemmer Porridge Road. It is this.
I'm loving these names.
Right? Like these are so Midwestern names. And it has this whole idea of like, here there's a lonely stretch of road, there's a bridge. What do you have to do? Well, you have to go there when?
Midnight or
3 a.m. When do you go there?
Halloween.
Or, in this case, you'll never get the second date. It's March 21st, because that is the anniversary of a man coming home from World War I. What is the moral of the story? What do I always teach you?
Don't fall in love.
He had fallen in love, and the woman that he loved promised that she would wait for him. Wait! Don't do that because they're going to shut us off. Guess what? She doesn't, right? So there's different versions of the story. In almost on all the versions of the story, he surprises her at the house. Sometimes it's kind of got this creeper feel that he's just looking through the window. And other times, he actually goes into the house, like, uninvited. Don't start saying that now. And all of the times he goes in and realizes that she's either engaged, married, and sometimes pregnant as well. So the way it's described in some of the stories, because they're told like, you know, as a story before they start getting into the legend part, is that he's creeping outside, looking through the window, just waiting to catch a glimpse of the woman he's been, you know, dreaming about every night in the European front. And all of a sudden she turns and her husband comes and holds her from behind. Or she does something and her hand goes by the window that he's stalking and he sees an engagement ring. Oh, or he literally goes inside, breaks into her house, right? Grabs her from behind and it's like, surprise! Before like he turns around and sees the ring. Or realizes she's got a bump because she's pregnant. Or her husband comes in and says, Who's this
random guy in my house?
So it's totally not like, you know, it's one of those things where all of those situations are weird anyway. He becomes so distraught that he takes off. And either he gets into an accident or he takes his own life.
Oh, okay.
More of the stories seem to be that he gets into an accident. Some say that he hits a barbed wire fence, his motorcycle, because that's his pride and joy is his motorcycle.
Oh, you didn't mention the
he
motorcycle.
just bought. That's the important part. It is called Riders on the Storm. Sorry. He hops on the motorcycle. He's driving away. You know, all I'm seeing is like leader of the pack, leader of the whoa, whoa, like when she rejects him. And then I think that song's 100 years old anyway. Just kidding. He slides off the road, hits barbed wire fence, takes his head off.
Whoa.
Or somehow he hits the pavement, and the pavement somehow takes his head off.
It's like hard enough to.
Yeah, somehow. That's a physics thing that you can do.
Right.
And his head comes completely off. They never find the head. He's buried in a nearby cemetery, and
he's reaching into the folder.
He now drives the road, and he stalks like the people that are on the road. So if people are driving on the road, he actually like drives behind them. They see the white or red lights behind him, and then they disappear. And a lot of times, the bike will go down this road, and then it will disappear into a cemetery. If you want to get him to chase you, if you were legend tripping it, right? We're legend trippers, right? You go to the bridge, and you honk 3 times, and then blink your light 3 times. So it's got the double urban legend, like trigger thing going on. Although a lot of them don't say the blink, they just say the horn. And the horn is supposed to symbolize like him calling for his
wife.
You know, calling for his floozy to come out. I want to read you one of these. I want to read you one of these accounts because there is a ton of information. This could be the most famous headless road person since
the Headless Horseman.
My good friend, the Headless Horseman.
All right, let's hear it.
Richard Gill is a man who has managed to become something of a folklore hero. As he is one... Can you get my glasses for me as I'm reading so I can... They're over there.
Where?
Or in my bag, right over there.
Injured.
Folklore hero. As he is the one said to have conducted the only scientific experiment related to the Elmore Rider. According to Gill...
What pocket is it in?
In the side.
Oh. Gotcha.
In 1989... Thank you. This is going to be much better for those. In 1989, he and an unnamed... I'm sorry, this is from ghostofohio.org. I should cite my source. He and an unnamed friend drove to the bridge on March 21st, so that's the anniversary of when this happened, and attempted to summon the rider. They were successful, and the light passed by their car. Excited, Gill and his friend decided to try an experiment. Stretching a long piece of string across the road, they once again flashed their lights and summoned the rider. I have never heard of, like, doing the summoning twice on the same night and having it work. You know what I'm saying?
Like he's like, he comes back around.
Yeah, he's like, well, that worked. Like, to have it that repeatable, I should say. Once again, the ghostly headlights appeared and moved down the section of the road with the string across it. After the light had disappeared, Gill went and inspected the string and found that it was still intact and unbroken, even though the ghostly light appeared to have passed through it. So they stretched a string across the road.
Right.
The motorcycle went through, nothing happened. Undaunted, Gill decided to go a step further and asked his friend to stand in the middle of the road.
What?
Notice he asked his friend to stand in the middle of the road.
Yeah, you would have done that yourself. Oh my god. Bro, if I was a friend, I would.
I know.
You better go do that yourself.
Gill asked his teenage daughter to stand in the middle of the road to see if he could make out anything specific about the ghostly light. The friend agreed and took his place in the middle of the road when Gill summoned the rider again. So the third time.
He's a very active little
he is. As Gill watched, the light appeared in the distance and began moving towards his friend. As the light reached the section of the road where his friend was standing, Gill lost sight of him. When the light finally disappeared, Gil ran to the place in the road where he had left his friend only to find it vacant.
No.
Eventually, Gil found his friend lying in a nearby ditch, semi-conscious and disoriented. He had no recollection as to how he had gotten there. At that point, Gil wisely decided that the experiments were over for the evening. So in other words, once the friend had been sacrificed,
right, then he was like, "No, we're done."
He was like, "I think we're good now."
The friend's like, "I think you should try." He's like, "No, we gotta go."
Yeah, no. Oh, like I think let's see if it's you. I'll be the honker this time. No, I don't. No.
We gotta go home. It's like,
but I like the fact of this is that it's fairly recent. What do we say? 1989. He tries this experiment, and it's successful in at least engaging the ghost. It seems to me, though, that if this ghostly rider, the rider of Elmore, or the Elmore biker, was that quick to respond,
that's what I'm saying.
He would be the most filmed ghost in the United States.
Did you tell me he responded 3 times?
3 times in one night. And the odd thing is that 3 times rope, friend as a sacrifice, and just general, not one picture.
That's what I'm saying.
Now, the interesting thing is this. I believe in the Elmore rider. I think that's a real story. I think that's a real motorcycle ghost with no head riding that stretch of road. I'm not sure if the backstory... I mean, the backstory is out of Haunted Florida Love Stories, right? It could be Haunted Ohio Love Stories. I mean, it's the same... Yeah, it has all concept. The elements. There are so many women who are not faithful to their men when they go off to fight for this country. It's just ridiculous. And I wonder if that's a real thing.
What?
This kind of infidelity. Like, the guy goes off to war, and the girl can't... It
happens.
Wait. I mean, does it... Is it...
Or they think that he's dead. Because March is like, if it ended in November.
She happens to be studying World War I.
No, last year. But it ended in November. So if he came back, like, the next March, that's like 4 whole months. She probably thought he was dead.
Well, and that's the interesting thing, is this idea of, do we create that backstory? Are we drawn to that backstory because we feel like we're going to be left behind, like we're going to be cheated on, or is it more towards the girl? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we supposed to sympathize with the boy in this story or the girl in this story?
I guess it's like...
Go ahead, sorry.
I don't know. I was going to say, like, it's kind of funny that it's like, if you sympathize with the guy, it's like he gets his head cut off. And it's like, his wife cheated on him, and he got his head cut off. So now...
I know. Well, in the local one, there are twists that the woman gets her comeuppance as well. But does
her head get cut off too?
No. Oh. She seems to remain with head. But... there are other things that kind of happen. It's just really interesting. So if we make up these backstories, because this is the folklore rolling around my head, why are we obsessed with this man coming back from war, being betrayed, and then becoming a ghost? I mean, it makes sense that his soul would be unrest.
I was going to say.
But, like, why that setup to make his soul unrest? Why can't it be that she died? Or why can't it be that she...
Because I feel like it was such a common experience. Like,
yeah?
It's like, you can kind of just, like... And that's not one that can really easily be confirmed.
I got you. So it's, yeah, because you're like, it's not as if he came back to find them all. They had died while he was gone. Like, that, right? Wouldn't that also be, like, unresolved stuff? It's always, she's cheating.
Yeah.
Because
it's easy to say, like, have, like, a death certificate for a woman or, like, whatever. But it's hard to be like, oh, this guy was promised to this woman who I'm assuming is nameless.
Yes. Oh, totally. Yes. Both of them have no name.
Yeah.
Folklorist right there. Love you.
And it's like, it's easier to be like, she cheated and betrayed him, and then he died, rather than like have, like, oh, she died and then he died. It's like, oh, she needs like a death certificate, or there's some way to confirm that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was like in the newspaper, or like, I said a death certificate already, so now I just sound like a...
I think there was one version of the story that I heard
broken record,
where he either kills her
Oh my god.
and goes off and and takes his own life from his grief of having killed her.
Right.
Which is very much like Rolling Acres and Lady Lake.
Right.
Where he comes back from war, Lucy, I believe it is. He comes back from war, sees her with another man for one reason or another, and just wipes everybody out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's it's definitely a theme. And then we are coming closer to home.
Let's go.
In back to the OG Tripping on Legends location, Venice, Florida.
Gotta love
Have you ever
Venice.
been to Venice?
Like Florida?
My voice just have you ever been to Venice?
Yeah, for the beach. I've been to the beach.
Collecting shark teeth. Yeah, it's kind of like known as the shark teeth capital of the world.
Yeah. I was going to say that exact same words. Shark tooth capital of the world.
It is potentially my favorite sunset. And of course,
In Florida? Ever?
oh my word, ever.
Oh,
yeah,
wow, really?
one location in Venice is the best. The pier has the best sunset.
Let's go.
And it, of course, is before Trivia on Legends was Trivia on Legends. That was the original Legend trip we did. Natalie and I going out to the train tracks
Right,
on
yes.
Halloween, exactly
Ringling
midnight.
Brothers.
And the Ringling Brothers train coming in.
The $2. He always has $2 in his wallet. by the way.
Always have $2 in my
Oh,
wallet.
We were at the doctor's office today to get my cast off. Woo! And he pulled out his wallet to pay for the copay.
You notice that?
And I saw the $2 bill in the wallet. I'm like, wow.
That's kind of funny. I got that story from this book right here, Ghost Stories of Venice, by Kim Cool. And at the time, I had contacted Kim Cool, and she had been somewhat, unapproachable. She wasn't necessarily the friendliest person, but I have hailed Kim Cool and, promoted her books and put her books out there. As well as I mention Kim Cool every Wednesday and Saturday when I do my tours. And I talk about one of the stories that she put forth at the Arcade Theater. And there was a story. Now, this is kind of like, I'm going to call this the Bad Penny Legend Trip, because this story has been hanging around in my consciousness since I read this book, and I kind of glammed over it for other things. This is the very first book, I should say the second book, that I bought about Florida ghosts. I think we should do an episode on the first book, but that might be a few weeks down the road. And so, being next to Venice, because we were in Punta Gorda, we were even closer, you weren't born yet, I was like, these are some interesting stories for me to follow up on, da-da-da. And then there was one story about, and I don't even remember reading it when I read this book, about a hitchhiking ghost. And it says, beware of hitchhiking ghost. Literally, the chapter says, beware of hitchhiking ghost. And there's no hitchhiking in this whatsoever. It's kind of like the redheaded hitchhiker, who's the redheaded hitchhiker and has never really asked for a ride in any of the literature except for once. But it was about... so I realized that I had looked up this story, I think, 6 years ago now. 6 years ago, when I was writing Haunted Haunted Florida Love Stories, and I was looking for some filler stories. So I was looking, and I was like, oh wow, this could be. And I remember coming across a story which was literally just a newspaper article that Kim Cool had published, basically a shorter version of what was in the book, and you can see what's in the book. It's not very long.
It's like 3 pages.
It's like 3 pages, and a page and a half of those 3 pages is about her theory about who the biker is. And I put it away. So literally, it has been in a file, and in a folder. Right?
This is Venice Biker.
It says Venice Biker. And then what? Fountain. Oh, there's a cool fountain legend. We'll talk about that some other time.
Okay.
It's been on my radar, and and the research, the papers that you see here printed have been in there for 6 years at least. Don't remember reading it. That was it for 6 years. And I was like, wait a minute, I think I got a biker in Sarasota. When I very first made the event list, they said Sarasota. And forgot that it was even in Venice. this could be the most remembered, experienced, and beloved ghost in all of Florida.
Holy moly.
Like, this is the very definition of a legend trip if we consider that, like, a community tells a story, the community believes that the story is 100% true. They generationally pass it down. They use it to explain things that have happened in the history of their town. Like, this has it all. Kim Cool, and I no disrespect to Kim Cool, didn't touch an ounce of what is out there with this legend. Basics. Center Road. Some people say it is River Road, but it's really kind of the area that's right, like almost at the intersection of those two roads. Also known as the Road to Nowhere. In the area of that road, right near the middle school, and oddly enough, fits in, right near Venice Memorial Gardens. People are said to, when they're driving down that road, see a single headlight that pops up from behind and follows them. The light comes out of nowhere, and the light disappears even closer. As it approaches, oftentimes it's getting closer and closer and closer, but there's no sound. So it's not as even like they can hear it. Other times they can hear it. The light is what seems like miles or a mile away, but they can hear the engine in their own car, like it's resonating.
In Venice.
In Venice, Florida. Sometimes, and this is like, she doesn't mention this. This is the people now talking about it. The motorcycle comes into view, and the motorcycle, the man has no head.
Right.
He catches up to them, sometimes passes them, tries to run them off the road.
Oh.
Like, people have genuine interactions with him. So it's not like, one of the theories is, there's a light, there's like a headlight on one of the trees, and so you're literally just seeing the reflection of the headlight. That's why it seems to be someone following you. It catches up to you, and it's not a normal biker because it disappears. The person doesn't have the head.
Right.
It is usually seen, Friday nights are the best nights to follow it, or to kind of conjure it. Sometimes it's seen at... when I point to you, that's usually your cue to say 3 a.m. Sometimes it happens at
3 a.m.
But usually it's between 11 and 12. I've never heard of like an 11 p.m. ghost, right? That's so Florida retirement community.
Like the hour before the last one.
The Pantabulous hour? I don't know what.
No, it's like the... I'll figure it out.
All right, you figure that out.
If anyone knows, please say it.
Kim Cool writes about this. Her book comes out in 2002, and there is no mention of it being headless, and there's no mention of it disappearing. It's actually fairly straightforward. She puts forth, I love this part of the story, she puts forth that it's potentially a guy by the name of Frank Jahan. Who...
11th hour.
11th hour. Oh, the 11th hour, of course. Frank was a world-famous pace bicycle rider who also trained people how to ride motorcycles and, like, stunt motorcycles. He kind of had his heyday as, like, a trainer, as, like, the days of... Do you know who Evel Knievel is? Have you ever heard that name?
I've heard it, but...
So he kind of like had his heyday at that time, and he retires to Venice. And so Kim Cool believed that this ghost bike rider or motorcycle rider was this famous motorcyclist / cyclist who rose to world fame and then retired to Venice.
Right.
Only problem is, he died in 1992 at the age of 100.
No, good for him.
So these reports have been coming
1892.
in. Good job, good math.
Cannoli.
He died in Washington, right? Had no emotional connection to to Venice. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't born and raised in Venice, so that wasn't a connection. Then he seemed to. I mean, I kind of went down the rabbit hole of Frankie here, but in 1992 is when he died, and the stories go back to the 60s.
How did he die?
Dude, he was 100 years old.
Just
like
old age?
Just
why
yeah,
would
just
his
pick
head
something.
be gone?
Well, he's.
Oh,
I don't think he's the ghost. That's what I'm saying. Like,
oh, right.
I
That's
think
what
that
I'm saying is,
right. I think a really quick Google search would have found that, like, Frank was not dead in the 1960s and the 70s when this was supposed to happen. Very interesting thing I found out. Total side note, but he was from England, and he was from. Oh shoot! I want to find it here. He was from. That was funny, huh?
Thank you.
He was from this town in England that was Jersey. Can you check that for me? That was.
What are you checking?
Just check the back of that for me. Oh, here it is.
I was gonna say mine's the
He was from
the dark web.
He was
Viper
from
Man.
the Isle of Jersey,
Okay.
right? So insert your Jersey joke here. And I actually found I had a hard
Is
time.
he in Jersey?
I had a hard time confirming that this was him who died in 1992 as 100 because his obituary says he was from the Isle of Hershey.
Well, what do we do?
So it's just crazy. Like, even the newspapers, make these mistakes. It was just whatever. I'm a geek. I thought that was very interesting.
I thought that was interesting too.
Kim Cool and the story itself is so much bigger than that. I came across in my research, and people say, oh, this is not a source. But to me, it's the ultimate source because it's what the community believes. 5 Facebook postings, all posted in different years.
5 Facebook postings.
5 postings live. All posted in different years. All of them exploded.
Exploded?
Some of the same characters showed up to comment on the posting. But a lot of them were different people. And it was report after report after report after report. I've seen him. This is what happened when we went out. This is what happened when we went out. This is what happened to my cousin. My mom told me this story. I mean, it was like pages and pages of. There were 17 pages of people who had sightings. I grew up in Venice, Florida, was one of like the groups that was in it. I grew up in Venice, Florida, so these were the same kind of group. Hey, how many of you guys have witnessed a motorcycle guy? And things just exploded. And you could see the evolution of the ghost from that. Original sources, like the original postings, like the earliest postings, again, no mention of him not having a head. So it's not until later that happens. Huge reposts. Sometimes he drives next to the people or passes them. People would go out to look for him. Like, this was the thing. My friends and I used to go all the time looking for him. We used to cruise around looking for him. This one person said that, based on some of the things I'm going to say about the legend, like where he's found, he was at camp in the 1970s at the YMCA, like a summer camp, and they actually had a field trip to the location where he was supposed to die because it's rumored that his bones are buried there. Like, that's how
the
popular
YMCA field
this
trip.
is, at the field trip at the YMCA.
Son, what did you do today at the YMCA field
I know, like, we learned CPR. We looked for the body of a dead man. So the online backstories, which kind of vary, is that his girlfriend broke up with him. So the kind of same thing as the Elmore guy, right? The girlfriend breaks up with him. He plows his way out, but he loses control of his bike and he dies.
Right.
So keeping in mind, there's no reference to losing your head at the beginning. Others say that he killed himself, right? That he committed suicide for the same reason. And now he's buried at the nearby cemetery. And you can only see the ghost if you've been to the cemetery first. So obviously during this legend trip, there's a trip to the cemetery, and then you trip the actual legend. she is also buried there. One of the versions of the stories that were put out there was that he is looking for her grave because she ends up dying years after him. Right? And his soul is still not at peace, and so he walks the cemetery hoping to be reunited. Like, dude, she's just not into you.
She broke up with
like,
you.
she broke up with you in life.
Boy.
It's not...
Men.
Multiple people have in these postings said there were other weird things that happened on Center Road. So even that part of it is worth. For some reason, and at first I thought it was sarcastic, people started talking about the ghost bike, Center Road, and Bigfoot / Skunk Ape. And at first I thought they were being like, oh yeah, I haven't seen the UFOs either. Walk, walk, walk. Like, no
right,
Bigfoot.
I would too.
But then I started reading more and more people saying, yes, it's in the same place that the skunk ape is found. I didn't even hear about skunk ape sightings
in Tallahassee.
In Venice.
Oh, you're right. There was something else that was Tallahassee. Am I stupid?
Oh, that's another episode. You're going to have to listen to that episode.
Oh, right.
It's really kind of like one of the interesting aspects of this is that so many of the people in talking about why they were why the ghost went away, right? So a lot of people were saying the ghost doesn't exist anymore. Other people were saying no, as recently as 2005, like we went out there to look for it. It was really a reflection of people in that area absolutely hated the idea that all this construction had happened, right? Like, this was known as the road to nowhere, and now it's, I don't know if it's a major road. It doesn't look like it's a major road. It's kind of like off everything in Venice. And if you've been to Venice, it's very much like, here's 2 or 3 roads that have a lot of high traffic and a lot of things going on, and a lot of not traffic-y roads. But everyone kept talking about people moving in made the ghost disappear.
Right.
And it was like this kind of idea of like gentrification. It killed the community. They're no longer the way it was. And a few references and some other stuff that I was looking into referenced Venice as being like the Wild West up until like the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. By the way, all the stories date him to at least the 60s. Some say the 50s or the 60s. So he definitely has this kind of earlier than or later than the other guy, but like definitely the time that the youth were, out there being motorcycle guys.
Right, right.
Is that a culture now? I don't think that's a culture.
Motorcycle guys?
Don't say too late or Devin will like be
maybe like 40-year-old men.
Then all of a sudden 2005 hits, and everybody in the post is mentioning, it's like a Mandela effect or something. They all start mentioning he doesn't have a head.
Right.
They start calling him the headless biker. I don't know what precipitated that. I don't know what headless thing happened in... Precipitated, yeah.
Proceeded?
No, precipitate. That means to make something happen, like a cause and effect.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's not precipitation.
You learn something new every day, you guys.
She's looking... Are you looking up the word? Oh, my word. I can't believe that. Now, there is one... there was one story that said it was a couple coming back from a casino. And that it was bad weather. It was newlyweds who had come back. They got into a motorcycle accident. She died. He was decapitated. And then both of them were buried in the cemetery. And that's where the ghost comes from. There were people who said it was a Native American person. Right? They didn't use the word Native American. And then other people were like, no. It wasn't a headless Indian. It was a headless guy on an Indian, which I guess is a kind of motorcycle.
That's kind of funny.
Right? But that's a perfect example of like urban legends. Like switching, like, oh, it's not a
word of mouth.
Then there were
game of telephone.
Then there were several references to the Blackburn Boys. So I have a feeling anyone who's listening to this episode who hears that
Or
the Blackburn boys are going to be like, oh, you knew it was going to be, you knew it was going to have to do with them somehow. Everyone not from Venice or Osprey are going to be like, who the hell are the Blackburn boys?
Right. So
the story goes, now this is not story, because this is, I started doing research on it. The Blackburns pretty much founded that area. They were the first family to move in. I found a guy, I think it was an obituary. I think it was more of a tribute than an obituary. And the guy's literally has like a big old gun in his hand. He's like Papa Blackburn, and he's got like a big old gun in his hand with a big old smile. And it's like, dead at 105.
Good for him.
That it was, because this location, confirmed, was a drag spot too. And one of the things that one of the things you need to do to trigger the activity, you don't have to blink anything. You don't have to, you're supposed to drive as fast as you can down this road. And some people, multiple times, it said it's not until you hit 100.
Oh my God.
So we're definitely not doing that part of it.
We're safe drivers.
But the Blackburn boys owned that area. They were cattle ranchers. It seemed like from everything that I was seeing, that they kind of had like a bad reputation. A lot of people, once the Blackburn boys were mentioned, said that they would shoot people that went on their property, that they were very much like, everyone knew they were the ones that were in charge. The story goes that one of the Blackburns, they shot at kids, all that stuff. They put a chain across the street because the cars were going by too fast and scaring off their cattle. And so they wanted to discourage, and they figured you only have to do it once and damage one car before people pick up on it and they'll stop doing it, right? Unfortunately, the person who it was on a motorcycle and his head came clean off. And the Blackburns tried to cover it up, and there was even one report that said one of the Blackburn boys actually took the head as a trophy and would hang it as a symbol to other people to stay off their property.
Right.
So everything I found, they were kind of ruffians, but they weren't like evil chop head off people to go do it. You know what I'm saying? That seemed kind of like really extreme. This seems like the perfect legend trip. It's an hour away. What are we going to do on a Friday anyway? We can do it from the safety of our car, although it does involve the cemetery. Do you have any questions for me, or like holes in the story, or like what are your thoughts on this story?
I think it's cool.
Porque, that means why?
Well, I mean, it hasn't been seen since 2005, though.
I've gotcha. So one of the things I'm interested in, which of course you can't tell, is are the people still living there?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of people moved out of Venice because of all of the new people coming in and the changes and everything, and so they moved out of Venice. So it doesn't say all of them were in the past tense. I used to do this as a kid.
Yeah.
I still do it every once in a while, and it's not out there. So it doesn't seem like they're looking for it.
I also don't think that kids, especially teenagers, are the most reliable source of information, especially teenagers trying to... Oh my God, sorry.
That's okay, keep going.
Especially teenagers trying to, like, get something to do, you know what I mean? Like,
I gotcha. Except for these were teenagers who are now my age or older.
Yeah, but still.
Does that make sense?
But still, like, going around to their friends being like, oh my God.
Well,
guess what I freaking saw on the road, dude?
So, this is one of the guys...
Dude, there was literally a guy on the road and he had no head, dude.
Right, and then it feeds itself, right? Because then every light you see builds it up, right? So that is one of the reasons why it's a perfect legend.
So even if there was, like, a headlight on a tree or something, some kid is probably like, oh my God, I saw this thing, and also it's headless.
So this is...
also, it's a guy on an Indian.
This was posted... Well, but the other mix-up with that is that there's a headless Native American in Sanford who rides a horse on a road. So
well,
I don't know if there's a mix there. Okay.
And they're best friends.
Yeah, they're best friends. And their other best friend is a guy by the name of Mike Weed.
Oh, okay.
So he wrote this, which I thought is kind of like a really good summary of the whole thing, but also, you know, a kind of toss. And even this is like, this is 2020, so this is still pretty recent, right?
Okay, Mike, take it away.
Mike Weed. Prerequisites for the experience. A group of bored, partying teenagers. So that's kind of like what you were saying. One or more in the group say, hey, let's go find the headless motorcycle guy. You need a Camaro or a Firebird or maybe a souped-up Nova or maybe even a V8 CJ. Way too many teenagers. You changed your tense, your verb tenses, buddy. You threw me off.
Oh, yeah.
Way too many teenagers pile into said car or pickup. Seatbelts, yeah, right. Because it was the 70s. Drive onto Center Road, out onto Center Road. Drive at least 60 miles per hour on the 2-lane crowned asphalt shell road. Some claimed 100 miles an hour is the magic number. Turn off your headlights. That's the first time. I'm not sure if I heard other references to turning off your headlights. Huddle in the murky darkness until someone claims to see something or the driver chickens out. Somehow survive your teenage years, and years later...
Implore our teenage children to not do stupid things.
So he seems to be of the spirit of you, which is a bunch of bored people out there trying to have fun, maybe liking to scare themselves. But the story's persisted. You know what I'm saying? Like, the story is... These people are still connected to it. And it was enough that Kim Cool still wrote about it. So I feel like this is one that Tripping on Legends can definitely do.
Okay.
So when are we going to do it?
Well, I have shows for like the next 3 months.
So we are doing... We're supposed to do a True Tours Haunted History Tour on Friday the 13th.
When is that? February?
Yes.
Look at that.
But if that falls through, like if we don't get a response, Friday, February the 13th seems like a perfect time. Friday the 13th, the day before Valentine's Day, love is in the air. It is a love story.
In some ways.
What do you mean in some ways?
Oh
She
my gosh,
literally
there's one single...
breaks up with him.
There's 2 stories. Okay, whatever.
How is that not a love story? If I was writing...
Because you named 4 different things and only 2 of them are love stories, so half of them.
What are you talking... Other than the Blackbird Boys, and they love their yards, I guess. Anyway.
They love their cows.
This seems definitely like something that we could do, and we can even do multiple times, and if that happens and Ella is the person that I go with, I am definitely putting her in the middle of the road. Because I did a little bit of a hiccup. I would definitely put her in the middle of the road and see if she ends up in a ditch. Now that she's off of her crutches, we'll see if we can get her in some kind of mortal danger as well. So if you want to follow how Ella gets tortured out on the roads of Venice, or any of the other things we're working on Tripping on Legends, please follow us. On Facebook, it's Tripping on Legends. I'm sorry, Facebook.com/Tripping on Legends. Spooky Tripping on Instagram. And our TikTok, which I've been posting more stuff or plan to have like little things that I'm doing, is Tripping on Legends. And of course, you can listen to all the episodes. Follow these show notes. If you listen to this show, follow these show notes, and you can have an entire playlist of ghosts without heads that Tripping on Legends has covered. And I'm looking forward to getting back out in the field. I've been spending a lot of time talking about the ghosts of Fort Myers. I'm anxious to get back on the road for all of these other great Florida ghosts, and especially my goal is to go around to as many campuses that Ella potentially wants to go to school at, and find as many ghosts as I can in the surrounding towns. Okay. And pretend that I'm there for her, but really I'm there for the ghosts.
Right.
So.
That's how it normally is anyway.
I am Christopher Balzano.
And I'm Ella Balzano.
And here's hoping that all of your trips
are legendary.
That's kind of like a dulled.
Are legendary. What's that coming through the door? It's a headless man. I really like